What a game, man! What a game. That might be the game of the year. And not only is the game of the year for me, honestly, that's the game of the last couple playoffs. I had the most fun watching that game than I had watching any other game in recent memory. The offense was amazing. The shot making from guys like Cat, Aaron Neesmith was spectacular. I mean, this game, it's everything you can ask for from a playoff game, right? So let's get into it here. Let's break it down from my notes that I had while I was watching this game. At the very start of the game, the Pacers were generating, and I mean, they ended up going like 9 for 9 or 10 for 10, but the Pacers were generating amazing looks. I mean, not only were they making these shots, right, but they were generating these good looks. And what they were doing is they were just taking advantage of what the Knicks gave them, right? The Knicks were willing to give Miles Turner these deep twos and these open threes. Cat was in drop, and he was taking advantage, and he was hitting shots. Other guys were hitting shots in transition. And I don't think the Knicks had really adjusted to the pace of playing. I don't know if adjusted is the right word, but I don't know if they were like ready, I guess, to come out and play at this Pacers pace from the very start of the game. And don't get me wrong, they were playing amazing. I mean, I think they started like 5 for 9 or something like that. So it's like you can't ask for a much better start shooting, 60% from the field from the Knicks. But it seemed like they were like, okay, once they called their first time out, or I think it was actually a foul on Cat. Like everyone kind of had to catch their breath. Like I just looked at all of them, and like you saw Josh Hart, he had his hands on his knees, right? Just like, let me catch my breath and let me really get settled into this game. So once the Knicks got settled in, the Pacers just took complete advantage of Cat being in drop coverage. Whether it was Tyrese Halliburton coming off a screen hard and getting a little floater, getting to the rim, or if it was Miles Turner popping. And I mean, he was hitting shots like no other in the first half. So they took advantage of that heavy. One thing on the Knicks side, for Jalen Brunson, he was having a hard time not getting open, but he was having a hard time getting to his normal spots in the first half. He was a really good creator. He had a lot of dump offs to his teammates to go finish. Like he'd get straight to the rim, and he's so good at playing off too. He'd get there, jump stop, and then it was just a dump off to Cat or OG or Mikal Bridges, and then it was a layup, right? But he was getting full on denied on the wing and out on the perimeter. And this opened up actually a lot for the Knicks in terms of their options in split action. So these screens with slips, Jalen Brunson was going back door on a couple of them. He'd curl, he'd sit behind them if they were sitting, which I think Aaron Neesmith did once. And then like Rick Carlisle got like irate on the bench, like, don't ever go under the screen. So then like they continued to chase, but then they'd also double off the screen. So then that slip from the screener, it was Cat a couple times, it was OG once. They just slipped straight to the rim, and it was like a pretty open layup. So the Pacers actually ended up adjusting that in the second half. But in the first half, that's how the Knicks generated a lot of their opportunities, were these, away screens that turned into this split action, which I haven't seen them do a ton of. And because of this double/full denial on JB, they were able to generate a lot of good open looks. So I liked that look from the Knicks. I think they could continue to capitalize on that in these games coming up. But Mitchell Robinson too, he made an amazing impact in the first half. He was a big energy guy. I think he ended up playing like close to 10 minutes. I think Cat got like a 9-ish minute rest because Mitchell Robinson was playing so hard and playing so well, which is not normal. And they mentioned on the broadcast that like campaign and Mitchell Robinson had like never basically played this many minutes in succession before, like in this playoff run, right? So it's like they just had amazing impacts in the first half, and they talked a lot about like the Pacers bench, and the Knicks bench came out and made an impact too. So that was good for the Knicks. Something that I hated from the Pacers in the first half that I wrote down in my notes is that the Thomas Bryant minutes are awful, and they don't really have an answer for Mitchell Robinson, right? Because when Cat goes out of the game, you're trying to like mirror his minutes with Miles Turner, so you take Miles Turner out. So then your next option is putting Thomas Bryant in the game to guard a guy like Mitchell Robinson, and he just can't. I don't know if he's like not physically capable of boxing out, or He's just not as strong, but he's getting manhandled by Mitchell Robinson, and he doesn't really provide you anything on offense. Like the one three that he shot in the first half was just the second it left his hand, I knew it was short. Like he just wasn't ready to shoot. So I don't know exactly where they go. I did not like the Thomas Bryant minutes at all. If Isaiah Jackson was healthy, I'd say go to Isaiah Jackson, but I don't think he's healthy. So that's going to be something that Rick Carlisle's going to have to figure out, or Thomas Bryant's just going to have to toughen up and play well. But yeah, that was like all of my notes in the first half. I mean, it was a very like eventful first half, and you go into it not really knowing who's going to come out in the second half. And I was excited to see these adjustments that the coaches made at halftime. And I think the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau actually made a lot of good adjustments. So Cat didn't stay in drop. They just start to switch the screens or hedge. And Tyrese Halliburton has this issue where when he sees a body like Cat with active hands coming or like on one side of his screen, and then he's getting forced to go towards that by a guard, whether that's Jalen Brunson, whether that's Mikal Bridges or whoever is guarding him, he just takes one dribble off the screen and then he picks up, right? And then he puts the ball above his head and he's like, oh no, what should I do, right? And they forced him to do that all the time. And that was something that I noticed was just, I guess it wasn't even like a advantage for the Knicks, but Tyrese Halliburton, he was so aggressive coming off in the first half, and then he just kind of stopped, which I understand when you're getting doubled off a screen, right? But you got to turn that corner. I mean, you're faster than Cat, or at least you should be, right? So it's that 1 pound dribble, hesitate right off a screen, and then it's, okay, now I'm going to go by you. If you're going right, you just got to beat him to his hip, and then once he's on your hip, it should be a layup or a dump off to your teammate. So I want to see that from Tyrese in game 2. Jalen Brunson was unguardable in the second half. The only reason that I feel like the Knicks end up losing this game is because he gets in foul trouble. And they went on their run, their big, I think it was like 12-0 or 14-0 run with him off the court. But I think they just still didn't establish this like super comfortable flow. And I think that's how the Pacers got back into it. And somebody that disrupted that flow was Ben Shepherd. And you might not look at this and go like, you see Ben Shepherd get scored on by Jalen Brunson a couple times. Mikal Bridges hit like a mid-range fadeaway on him. But he was disruptive in terms of, he had the energy to continue. I mean, so did Nesmith and Nemhard too. But he had the energy to like fully get up in Jalen Brunson 94 feet. And for the 7 minutes that he was playing, I think it was 7. Let's make sure. Yeah, 7 minutes. So it was 7 minutes. He was 0 for 1. And he was a plus 14. So, I mean, that's pretty good. But that doesn't really tell you the impact that he had, and I don't see a lot of people. I saw a lot of people on Twitter being like, "Get Ben Shepherd off the court, like his minutes are awful." But I actually like fully disagreed because maybe he wasn't like doing the things that you wanted him to offensively. Obviously he's not going to generate his own looks. He needs someone to do it for him, right? But he was making Jalen Brunson start off their offensive possessions around like 12 to 10 seconds because of his defense that he was playing 94 feet. And that's not something that's going to show up, and he was able to do that really well. So I actually enjoyed those Ben Shepherd minutes. He might have got scored on probably like 3 or 4 times, but you're going to live with that from, a smaller guy who's continuing to wear out Jalen Brunson. I mean, it's tiring to dribble the ball that long. So I like the Ben Shepherd minutes. Once again, Thomas Bryant minutes were bad. They weren't as bad, but I think the thing that changed in the second half the most was the Mitchell Robinson minutes were still impactful on the offensive rebounding end, but he kind of got lost on the defensive end. Like, Obi Toppin had 2 putback dunks that were his fault, And Obi Toppin, it's just like, he just does the little things for this Pacers team. He's always ready. He's getting rebounds. He's like, I think he understands that the main way that he's going to score and impact the game is through these like hustle plays / offensive rebounds. And I mean, he's not the best shooter in the world, but he can knock it down, and he's always ready to shoot. So I think Obi Toppin did a great job in that second half. And then Aaron Nesmith turned into Steph Curry, Ray Allen, whoever you want to call him, right? And that's amazing shot making from Aaron Nesmith, not taking anything away from him, right? That was one of the greatest shooting displays I've seen in the fourth quarter in a long time. I think he was 6 for 7, right? But if I'm Tom Thibodeau, if I'm anybody on the court as a Knicks player, how do I not know my personnel, KYP, right? How do I not know that he just hit 3 threes? Like, how do I not get up on him? And the 1 3 that he missed, he got fouled, but they didn't call it, right? So it's like, how do I not full on deny? How am I not letting him get these easy catches off screens to hit these shots? I don't. It didn't really fully comprehend to me what was going on in the Knicks' mind. Like they were so worried about Tyrese Halliburton, or even Andrew Nemhard had some tough shots in OT, right? But he hadn't really gotten going in regulation, so I don't know why they were so worried about that. It's like Aaron Nesmith, he's hit 3, and then he hit 3 more, and all of them are pretty open. So I'm like, why aren't we deciding to deny that shot, make him go to the rim, make him get met at the rim by a Josh Hart or a Cat? Like I'm not sure. But then, in the fourth quarter and in overtime, Karl-Anthony Towns is just a tough shot maker. I mean, it's post fades. It's that little baby hook that he had where he ended up like pointing down Pascal Siakam because that like whole possession they were just bumping and hitting each other, and then he scores, and he's trying to be petty and whatnot. But he also gave Pascal Siakam the work. I mean, Pascal Siakam, I don't think I mentioned him yet. I have him down on my notes. He was just like a zero factor to me. He wasn't very beneficial on offense. He didn't do much on defense. He was getting bodied. There's that like one picture of him like full on spread eagle on the ground after he got knocked over by Cat. So it's just like, bro, he's got to make an impact in this game, and he wasn't able to do that. Luckily, they come out with a win, right? So that's okay for him, and he's going to walk away happy because they won. But Cat played amazing. He actually started to shoot threes, which I think a lot of people are asking him to do throughout the other 2 series. But some of the threes that he's taken, there was one in the first half where like Campaign pushed the ball all the way down the court, and then Cat's in that trail position, and I get it. You're like stepping into a 3, you're catching, you're left, right. It's what you're used to. But I mean, you're pulling a deep 3, and if you miss that off of one pass, it's just like a bad possession. And he missed that shot a lot. He did it once in the second half, which just like to me, it was in clutch time. I'm like, bro, that's just not the shot you need, But he makes tough shots. He was making threes. He did the little things for the Knicks. He was playing amazing. His minutes were awesome, especially like the contrast between him and Mitchell Robinson. I think just the the Pacers had a tough time adjusting once those 2 guys would sub in or out for each other. And then the last couple of things I had written down, I mean, I mentioned it earlier, but you just got to KYP. Like, you got to know your personnel, whether you're the Knicks or the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers struggled to kind of stay on the same page as a team on Jalen Brunson of like what they were doing. Like, are we full on denying? Are we forcing him right? Which, I mean, Jalen Brunson loves to go right? But he almost always, when he goes right, will jump stop and get back to his left hand or fade and shoot a little left. Obviously, he'll shoot it left-handed, right? Rarely ever do I see Jalen Brunson go to the rim with contact and finish with the right. So it seems like that they were trying to force him to the right, but they kind of forgot that, that he's one of the best players at playing off 2 and finding the contact. So you just got to know your personnel. Same thing with the Knicks for Aaron Nesmith, like I mentioned. And then I said in my preview video that if it came down to this clutch time stuff, I kind of believe in the Knicks more, which I still do. But I mean, Tyrese Halliburton's amazing in the clutch. I saw something where he's like 11 for 12 in these like game-winning / game-tying opportunities, and I'm like, that's just crazy. So Tyrese Halliburton's amazing. I think the Knicks, I mean, you got to make your free throws, obviously, but also it's just like some of their possessions to me were a little quick. Like, they just weren't running enough time off the clock, which if I'm up by, I think it was like 16 with like 3 or 4 minutes to go, like, why am I not taking 20 seconds off the shot clock every single time? Like, why am I taking a shot after, like Ben Shepherd's picking up full court, right? So you're already losing 10 seconds to that, and then it's like one pass shot. Why? Like, go attack the rim, make the refs make a call. Obviously, like I said, they couldn't really make free throws, so you got to make your free throws, but I wish they would have done that a little bit more. And then if you're a Pacers fan, obviously you're ecstatic. You love to go get that win. I mean, you took home court, right? But if you're a Knicks fan, it's not one of those things where I mean, I've seen a lot of people like overreacting on different social medias, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. These Knicks fans being like, oh my gosh, series is over. It's like, that's a very long series. You lose a game that you should have won at home. Yes, that sucks, right? But I think I'm hoping for the Knicks. They're more adjusted to this basketball that they're going to have to play. It seems kind of like how in that Rockets Warriors series, it was like, okay, we're going to play half court basketball, and the Warriors were like not okay with doing anything else. Like, the Rockets wanted to get out and run, and the Warriors just weren't letting it happen. Kind of seems like in this series, the Pacers are going to play fast, which, they're going to play fast. That's their whole identity, right? But the Knicks don't have a choice but to play fast too. So Hopefully they're adjusted to that and they'll play better in this in these clutch moments in the second game. Hopefully it's a close game. But yeah, very long series. Series isn't over. What a game. I mean, one of the most fun I've had watching basketball in a long time, and especially in the NBA. And I think I briefly mentioned it in my last video, but the foul baiting conversation, I understand it's like a hot topic, but I just kind of I hate it regarding Shea and Jalen Brunson, and I'll probably do a whole video just on the foul baiting conversation. But the fact that there's so many people like saying like Jalen Brunson is just he's just searching for calls, and it's just like, well, duh, like he might be 5'9". I think he's listed at like 6 whatever, but he's like, you see pictures of him standing next to guys that are like actually 6 foot, and he's significantly shorter. So it's like he has to look for this contact, and then if he does feel that contact, he's good enough to fall to the ground. Or I mean, even sometimes he's going up into this contact and going and finishing. And it's like, I get people hate the lunging into people and all this stuff, but to me it's the same exact thing as like if somebody pulled out a sham god, right? They put in someone in front and take it out. It's like, oh, that's a good move, and no one's really doing that, right? And that's just in his bag. It's the same thing for me with like Jalen Brunson and like going to get contact and get fouled, right? It's just a move to me. It's just like that's what he's doing to get his shot off or to get to the free throw line, which in a game where he was having not a hard time getting going, right? But it wasn't a ton of like Jalen Brunson, between cross, step back three, bang, you know? He was having to get his buckets a different way, and that was at the free throw line or at the rim. And I just hate the foul baiting conversation. I think we should just all enjoy watching these games and enjoy the basketball product that we have on the court. So at the end of the day, I love watching Jalen Brunson. I think he's a great basketball player. I love watching Shea. Both of these series should be amazing. And yeah, what a game. And yeah, give me 6 more. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.